Hello, my name is Andre Taylor. I am an off-campus senator, and basically what's going on is we're trying to talk about an oil tax, basically, because California is one of the only big states that does not tax oil companies, and we're trying to tax oil companies so we can get more money for higher education.
And the reason is because there's a reason why tech companies, biotech companies, why it used to be aerospace companies, and various forms of industries come to California and stay in California, and it's because this is where the talent is. And where do you think talent is created? That talent is created in a public university system that produces more graduates than any other system in the world.
I had mentioned earlier, Senator Jackson was the principal co-author on the measure last year to implement this tax. The bill, SB 241, was held up in the Senate Appropriations Committee. As recent as yesterday, having a conversation with the senator, she's happy to continue to support such a measure. She's happy to author it if need be, principal co-author, author, whatever. She's definitely supportive of that. One of the reasons being that California is only one of the top 10 oil-producing states that does not have an oil severance tax. And you will hear some other folks will say, well, you know, the contrary, the counter argument to that is that, well, also California is one of the only states that has a tax on oil reserves. That's true, but that's capped by Prop 13 and nowhere near as beneficial as additional money for higher education. As I mentioned, the bill that had been authored last year is no longer in the process this year, but the language is there, and it provides a good blueprint moving forward if we need to author something additional.
My name is Duraka, and I'm the secretary of the California Democratic Party. But I'm also a graduate student here at UCSB in the sociology department. Any sociology majors here today? All right, we got one, represent. And so I'm about to graduate, about to finish in a couple of months. And like a lot of people here, I'm thinking, awesome. The day after I file my dissertation, I'm going to get a bill from the government saying, you know, you've got to pay $1,200 a month to pay back all of those loans that you've taken out in order to get a graduate education. So it's a very personal thing. This issue is very personal for me, in addition to it being ideological or political or whatever. Now, I'm a big Democrat. I'm a progressive Democrat. I'm on the left of the party. But I actually want to start by agreeing with something that conservatives say about education policy, something that they actually get right. And that's that our loan system, our system of student loans, of funding education primarily through loans to students, is inflationary on fees. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you're a college or a university, whether in a private college or a public university, doesn't matter. Either way, when you sit down and think about how much to charge, you look at that big pot of loan money that every student is going to dip into in order to pay it. So if you think about, if you're running any kind of business and you've got a product to sell, you're going to price that product based on what you think your consumers have the ability to pay. But education providers have this extra amazing thing that they get to set their prices, not based on what people could actually afford to pay based on their income, but as a bet against all of their lifetime future income. So they get to set the cost of education based on a lifetime of debt for the consumer. And that is a completely broken system.
I want to remind you that Jimmy here is holding some sort of yellow goldenrod sheets that have some of the things that I talked about when we had our opening remarks, but also some of these other topics that you're bringing up now. This is something the state of California has to resolve, but I believe our UCs really need to be acting in support of the public interest. And it is clear, even though virtually all of the offshore drilling that's done in the state of California is done off our shorelines here. So it's a very local reminder when you look out and you see those oil platforms. And we have a lot of drilling onshore. here on the Central Coast as well. So it's all around us here. There was an attempt to drill right at Devereaux, off Devereaux. There's nonstop interest, particularly with fracking and some of the more technology-based drilling methods that have come to light. This is not a subject that's going to go away.